Oh god, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. This curb's gonna kill me. Oh my... I made it! Woo! What's up everybody, BioBen here, back with another video. So, today we got the official update, the public update for Assetto Corsa Competizione. It's going into update, what is this, 1.0.7. One thing to note, I find it interesting that it's 1.0 point. That indicates like it's kind of a minor fix. Because if not, it would be like 1.1. I don't know. Maybe it's just a quirk of their numbering system because of the way they did their initial updates. But it may indicate that we're due a big 1.0 update at some point. Maybe GT4 cars? Hope, hope, hope. Anyways. Before we get into it, I just want to say thanks for all the support everybody's been giving me lately. I've been really busy trying to get videos out there, but had good support, good feedback on the Discord. So yeah, thanks for all the likes. Thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate all that. Okay, let's dive into the meat of this. The main thing that this update does is it introduces the new 5-point collision tire model. Basically, instead of having 1 point in the middle of the tire that collides with the track mesh surface, there's now 5 points, 2 on each corner, I believe, and then 1 in the middle. Basically, what this does is it makes curbs usable. As you saw in my little joke intro, I went over one of the nasty curbs that has a lip on it up at Lacombe in Spa, and I survived. In previous iterations of the game, that curb would have got the rail curb effect, where basically you're stuck behind that curb because the collision point is way down in a low trough. Instead, the tire can gradually climb over curbs in this new update. If you're a huge nerd like me and you want to read more about this, I will include a link in the description to a race department article on it that comes from the original ACC blog post. So yeah, I'll link to those resources there. So I've been testing this for about an hour here, and I have to say, it completely changes the way you can drive. I drove like a complete moron using every single curb, and I had far fewer spins than I would have in the past. So we like to think that ACC was a very advanced simulation when it came out, but it still shows how simplified it is, and there's room for great improvements. So basically, a good thing is going to keep getting even better with some minor adjustments. I know rFactor 2 fanboys will have been like, "Well, we had this forever." Well, yeah, but you know, ACC is coming up to that level in terms of physics. The visual circuit are surpassing rFactor 2. So, anyways, I digress. What else do we have? Well, there's a new traction control system. It's not just the logic, so the traction control logic is improved. Basically, it takes into account the yaw and simulates a gyroscope. Basically, it figures out how much you're sliding and says, hey, are you correcting this? If so, I'll let you keep sliding, because a little bit of slip can be fine. But if there's too much, then it kicks in the traction control. And now that traction control has been updated to mimic reality, where it's actually a two-stage system. So in the past, it would just cut the engine power out completely, basically simulating cutting ignition. Now what it does is it models changing of ignition timing. So basically it tweaks the ignition timing, you get a slightly delayed, say, explosion, and that reduces the power output. So it can gradually reduce the power output, and then if the slide is still too big, or the wheel spin is too big, it can completely cut the power. But it's a more gradual system. I have to say, this implementation of the traction control is phenomenal. I love it. I am in love with it. It is so good. I barely noticed traction control, and when I went over curbs and things like that, normally there's a huge problem in sims where the wheel bounces over a curb. Basically the system is dumb and thinks there's wheel spin, and it cuts the ignition and you lose tons of power. With the new model for the tire and this new traction control, it really steps up the feel of the car on the power and on the curbs. Alright, so what other changes do we have? Well, there's some nebulous CPU optimization. Basically, they say that it should use less CPU with the AI. I bumped up to 29 AI, and it seemed to run fine. They kind of ignored me. I'm not too sure if that's poor AI logic or if it was CPU usage, but I do have a pretty beefy CPU, so not quite sure what I can draw from that. We'd need some lower end hardware probably to really test that. A bunch of gameplay stuff. Mid-session saving is re-enabled. I guess they had problems with that, but basically it breaks any previous saves you had. Some other bug fixes, endurance driver stint logic, that seems like that was fixed a long time ago. Added driving time limit per driver in endurance game modes, again, another things. Added driver stint requirement per different endurance modes as per real life regulations. So basically they're adding features that should have been there. Improved AI strategy and stint-based game modes. Again, another thing that we've run into as a problem here, right? Anyways, I digress. Some mouse steering stuff. I've actually seen comments like on Steam and stuff like that about fix the mouse steering. Like, I don't know. That's like so out there for me that I don't know. Anyways. Other UI things, I did notice some nice stuff about the UI where the button mapping is. It was previously split up into like keyboard, gamepad, and wheel. Now they're all like on the same line, so if you're like me and you use a lot of buttons and you have keyboard and wheel buttons mapped, now you can easily see what those are and map them at the same time. That's really handy. So now I got my traction control and ABS controls on there. Some more physics stuff, tire pressure loss, some tire wear stuff, temperature, water dissipation, and then multiplayer and ranking things. A lot of just kind of UI stuff as well there too. Track IR seems to be implemented, but it looks like people are having some issues with it, it seems. So yeah, basically ACC in my opinion is going in the right direction. I'm still so torn because it feels so good, but then you get in there and that's like the best part of it. As somebody that's not like a super competitive sim racer, I don't just jump in a lobby and do the same 5 tracks over and over again all night. I tend to want to do longer races when I do race in ACC, and I tend to race AI because of that. Those things are still, I don't know, there's not enough for the casual sim race, like casual serious sim racer, I guess let's call it. Like, I'm pretty serious about my sim racing, but I don't have a ton of time, so I like sim racing ADD, and one day I want to jump in this car, or the next day I want to do that car, this track, that track. It's like ACC is hyper focused on GT3 and Blancpain, obviously. That's really good if that's what you're into, but if you want more, it still doesn't give you more. It's just those things done really, 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 really well. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's going to draw me back in, but we'll see. I must say I got sucked in my testing of it. It felt really good. I kept crashing and being out of practice, but I was enjoying driving the cars. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed the new update. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button for me. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already. Join us on Discord. Links down there in the description below. I'll have the link to the full patch notes on Race Department as well in the description. And that's it. I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.